Hello AoS fans, Robin here, and I'm back today with another look at Soulbound character generation. I'm in front of the camera today and you've got a heads up of what I can see on the screen, and we're going to use one of the fillable character sheets that you get when you purchase the PDF of Soulbound. I have to say that Cubicle 7 very kindly sent me a copy of the PDF, and when I downloaded it, you also get a map, and you get a character sheet, and you also get these fillable ones, which are great. So I'm going to go through it, and you can have a look at how the process goes. If you haven't seen my other videos, they might be worth checking out first if you're trying to check out Soulbound for the first time. I've done one on just character generation in general, 3 on the archetypes, actually breaking down each of the archetypes you can play, and then 1 on skills, on talents. So you might want to look at those first. If not, just crash on with this one. Do let me know if you're enjoying the series in the comments below. I want to try and make these as interesting as possible. I'm very, very slowly working my way through the rulebook, time being what it is at the moment, but I'm loving the game and getting more and more a feel for it as I go on, and I'm hoping you're finding it useful. And like I say, do leave a comment in the comments below if you're enjoying the content, and give us a like and a subscribe and all that stuff. So I'm going to crash on. Hopefully I won't get too much wrong. I'm doing this as sort of live, hoping to do it without any video editing, but you never know, there may be some editing required at the end of the day. We'll have to see. So let's crash on. Okay, so if you watch my skills and talents video, I noticed that religion was quite an important part of the game of the Mortal Realms. It's kind of deeply embedded in many of the characters, and I thought it might be fun to play a dwarven cleric. I've never played a dwarf character before in all of my role-playing career. I tend towards elves, half-elves, and humans. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go with a dwarf. So I'm quite fancy playing a cleric, quite fancy cracking on with some miracles. We'll see how all that works as we go on. So we're going to start. I've decided to pick this archetype here that you can see, the Auric Runemaster. Just a little chop out of the rulebook there so everybody can see it. So the archetype here then will be Auric Runemaster. And it's all one word, but won't worry too much about that. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. And species is a fire slayer. Oh, a fewer slayer. Fire. You can see how terrible I am at typing. Fire slayer, and maybe a Dwarden you could put in there. It doesn't really matter, does it? These things are randomly generated. We'll have a look at those a bit later on. Character name. There are some character names here. Actually, you can see I've actually got this is the under here. We have the rulebook, and there's some sample names, so we could just pick one of them, and you can make your own up. But I'm gonna go for Njord, and I'm not. Try again. Aha. Njord. Dwarden's surname. Flame Rune, yes. Njord Flame Rune. I quite like that. Quite pleased with that. Obviously, you can entirely welcome to make up your own. And let's have a look. I must have some pictures here. Yes, here he is. Let's have a look then. So his body, I always call it bind. His body is 3. Okay, why is that? His body is 3, his mind is 2, and his soul is 3. So there we go. So these are pretty static. You can vary them potentially, but we're obviously going for the simplest build possible. Core skill is devotion. So we click on devotion, or it's almost like somebody had been here earlier. I should have clicked that one out, but you get devotion. You get 1 in training and 1 in focus. Your core skill. So whatever character you're building, you always have a core skill, and you always get training and focus in that. And if you remember, training you can combine with your dice here. So for devotion, probably is soul. I can't remember off the top of my head, but each of these abilities has a connection to one of these stats. So I think weapon skill is body, and if you've got a training in weapon skill. When you fight weapons, you roll 4 dice, or he would roll 4 dice because it's 3 plus 1 is 4 for the training. And if I had 2 training, it would be 3 plus 2, making 5. Focus, you can alter the results on the dice. So for every pip you have in focus, you can alter by 1 the roll of the dice. I'm going to go for a fairly even spread. I'm not going to specialise. There is an XP table because the more you specialise, the more XP it costs. And I have 7 XP to spend, which isn't a huge amount. And I want to kind of give them a across the board breadth of abilities. Although it doesn't change things very much. It kind of just, as I say, just adds 1 dice. But you know that does make you better if you get 1 dice. I want to be reasonably good at fighting, so I'm going to have 1 in weapon skill and 1 in ballistic skill. What I'm quite interested in is the crafting aspect of the game, so I'm actually going to go for crafting 1, and I'm going to go for focus as well. Crafting is quite important to an Auric Runemaster because they can make gold runes, and crafting is something that occurs more in between scenarios, and it's kind of about almost like character development and interest in what's going on around your adventures as well as in your adventures. But I'm going to put a couple of pips in crafting, and then what else am I going to look at? Well, what have I got left? I haven't got a lot left. I'm going to go for fortitude, I think, make them a bit tougher, and I'm also going to go for let's have a look. I think might. I might have a look at might. Ho ho ho. So that's my skills that I've chosen. So that should be 7 pips. 1, 2. Well, these 2 you get for free, but it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What have I missed 1? And you know what? Let's have a little focus in weapon skill as well, just to make me a little bit better at combat. So that's my 7. So each one of these costs 1 XP. If you want more, it costs more. I can't remember. It's probably 2 for the next pip. So if I wanted to put 2 in there, that would be 3 XP altogether. I can't 100% remember that total, but it is all in the rulebook, unsurprisingly. And let's have a look then. And my core talents are blessed with Grimnir. Now that does enable you to use the miracles. Blessed. I'll put Grimnir just so we know. Grimnir. And what else have we got? And sense. Gold. So what's all that? Gold. Zargrim there as well. Zargrim. I did remember what it was. I'll have a look at. We'll have a look at them in a minute. See what they do. I can't remember off the top of my head what Zargrim is. And then I could choose 2 more. So I'm going to choose guts. I think I need fortitude. That's why I chose fortitude. So I'm going to use guts. And any miracles of Grimnir, and I'm going to look at the miracles of Grimnir. So let's have a quick look down now at the skills we've chosen. So using the rulebook skills. No, I don't want to go there. I want to go further down. Right down. It's funny. I've been looking at this on the Mac that I use for editing videos, and it's these many less page options. So look at all the archetypes here. Skills and talents, focus. Okay, well, I've got all of them here. So fortitude is landscape harsh. Fortitude is used when you must endure deprivation and adversity, such as risk. Those with great fortitude can easily resist illness and useful when fighting the minions of the plague god. Oh, exciting. Anyway, moving on. And might. What does might do? Might is a body stat. Characters with training in might may well be supernaturally strong. Focusing might means you have specifically learned how to leverage your power to direct it most effectively. Interesting. When using a might test, I can get +1. So let's have a look. Here's some interesting bits of talent. What am I going to look for? Guts. I probably need to try and remember what guts does. Guts requires training 1 in fortitude, which I do have. You're as tough as they come. You're going +1 toughness for each level of training in the fortitude skill. So +1 toughness for each level of training in the fortitude skill. So I might just pop a 1 in there so I don't forget. Not 1 in there maybe, so that I don't forget. I'll come back to that. That might be worth doing. And then Zargrim, or Sense Urgold. I think that just means you can sense the old Urgold. But Zargrim is interesting, and I did look it up. But of course I've immediately forgotten what it is. You are one of the Zargrim, the priests of the Fire Slayers who lead the search for Grimnir's remains. You have mastered the secrets of forging Urgold runes and can take the Forge Urgold rune endeavour. See page 157 for more information. So that kind of ties in with the crafting when you want to try and make new Urgold runes, because you carve them into yourself and they wear out after a time. So here are the miracles. I can have one miracle of Grimnir. The miracles are great. I think it's well worth thinking about playing. I haven't gone too far. It's well worth thinking about playing a priest, because they've got some really cool stuff. And I was really taken by the Searing Heat miracle, so I'm going to have a miracle which I can actually put down. I think there is actually a separate section for miracles somewhere. Spells and miracles. Name Searing Heat. Costs 1 metal. Doesn't actually say. No, it costs 1 metal. A metal object you can touch. Close range. Close. Target. Metal. Effect. So I'm just going to put in here that it's 1 metal. I don't know whether I should put it in the DN. And kind of, well, just for, I'm not going to go into it, but superheats metal, which is pretty cool. I kind of like the idea of doing that. Let's go back to our friend. No, that's the wrong one. Let's go back to our friend, the Auric Runemaster. So I've chosen my 2 talents. So I've got that. I get those 3 for free. I've got guts and I've got a miracle. I'm going to just put the miracle there, just so I don't forget that I've got one. And I've used them up. Equipment, any 3 Urgold runes. A runic iron and hand axe, or a latch axe. A forge key. So let's see if we've got somewhere to put our equipment. Nodes, portrait equipment. Other gear. So I'm going to put in spells and miracles. I'm going to put a weapon in here. I'm going to put the great axe. I'm going to have a latch axe, like Fuel Grimnir, for those of you who play Warhammer Underworld. A latch axe. I say that without your teeth in, which is a great axe. I've got to get the stats for the great axe somewhere along the line. Okay. I do actually know that the damage for a great axe is 2 plus the success number of successes. So you roll the dice, roll the number of dice, we'll work that out in a minute, roll the number of dice, the number of successes I get plus 2 is the damage for that, or 2 plus the number of successes, and that is slashing and 2-handed, which may come in useful later. So I do know that, but check that out earlier. So now we need to also look at our derived stats, of which there are a few. But perhaps before we do that, we'll look at some of this personal stuff. I don't want to take too long on this. Why can't this? I don't want to take too long on this. Let's just. I was going to do my equipment, wasn't I? So I'm batting back and forth. I've got 3 Urgold runes. Should we have a look at those? Let's have a look at those. Okay, so the Urgold runes, let's pop you down out of the way. The Urgold runes are in the equipment section. Equipment, or are they? But where did it say they were? Page 117. Page 117, here it is, Fire Slayer runes. Look at these are pretty cool. So you can have a number of active gold runes equal to your soul, so I can have up to 3, and I get 3. So if you have multiple active gold runes of the same type, they're cumulative, which is quite unusual, I think, for this type of game. It's quite interesting that you can have cumulative gold runes. I'm not going to go too much into this. This is kind of like extra rules, but I'm going to have a Rune of Fury to Rune of Fury, which would improve my melee by 1 step. And then I think there's something to do with Rune of Searing Heat. I'm going to kind of be a Searing Heat Runemaster. I keep missing out the of. Rune of Searing Heat, which has +1 damage when that's active. And I would like, what would I like? Oh, wrong one. I would like to have, I'm going to have the Rune of Fiery Determination as well, because that kind of, I know the Fire Slayers are by their very nature fiery, but I'm going to have the Rune of Fiery Determination as well. So there you go, that's my 3 runes chosen. Was there anything else on here? They get Holy Symbol. I should probably pop that on here. Holy Symbol. Holy Symbol. And enough Urgold to forge 1 Urgold rune of 15 drops of Aqua Gimanis. And you also get Files and Spheres, which I don't know what they are. I haven't got that far. But 15 isn't very much on character generation front. And I probably won't go over spending the equipment things, because that's kind of fun thing you guys can do when you look at the rulebook. I'm not going to bother picking through that. It's kind of, it's a personal thing what you might want to do. Let's go back to the top of character creation then. Let's go and look at how we generate ages and things. I mean, you can just make these up, I guess. Gosh, it's a long way. Whee. Human soul, body, mind, body, soul. Modifying attributes. Okay, talent. Adding detail. We've done the name. Age. So here we are. So age for a Dwardian is 46 times 5. So I need to roll 4d6. I've got this thing here, so I'm going to add a couple of dice. Oh. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to add some dice. Oh, delete the dice. Add some dice. There we go. So 46. Let's roll those. And we get 17. 17. So what would I just say? It's 17 times 5, which is what? 85. So he is 85. Eyes 2. I remember, yes, the hilarious jokes we used to have as children, just like that one. To be honest, my sense of humour hasn't really changed. Distinguishing features peculiarly comes first on the table chart. Where you have to roll 2d6 and you pick on here. So I don't know how this is going to come out. So let's just have a look. Oh no, wrong button. Have a look how this comes out. So 2d6. Let's get rid of 2 of those. Roll those. So this one is the column and this one is the row. Or 3 of 1. So 3. So that might be the eyes. It is. So 3 and 1 is a scar. I've got a burned hand. Well, that kind of fits actually, doesn't it? I probably could have just picked that one. Burned hand. Burned hand. Come on, let's type in here, boys. Oh. Burned hand. Okay. What XP gajillion? No, eyes. You can have its eye type. This is quite amusing. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll have a look. I'll keep pressing that wrong one. We'll roll this. Roll 5-5. So I type 5-5. Intense. Oh, intense. It's basically turning into Pete, this character. Intense and hair. Intense. Oh, I didn't do a colour. Intense. I need to roll eye colour. I need to roll 3d6. Can't keep it straight. Can't keep it normal GW. We've got to have different things. So it's not GW, is it? Cubicle 7. And okay, let's have a look. So add an extra dice and roll those and get 5, 2, and 2. So we'll call that 9. 9 for a dwarf. It's copper. My intent. Oh, they are. Anybody who doesn't normally watch this, my compadre is called Pete Copper, and I have intense copper eyes. Oh, those intense copper eyes. Yes, that's when I see him over the table, I just can't help but stare into them. Let's have a little look at the hair colour then. Okay, it's just, oh no, it's 3d6 again. 3d6, and every time I press the wrong one. 3d6 and roll, and we've got 10. So 10 is no, hair colour, copper. Well, I think I may have got those around the wrong way. I did get them around the wrong way. So in fact, I've got copper hair. I've got copper hair and not intense. I've got intense. I got a 9, didn't I? I've got intense dark brown eyes and dark brown. That's a lot more boring. Okay, but anyway, and height. Height is not very high. 2d6, 4 foot 1 plus 2d6. Let's have a look. Let's get rid of one of those. Oh no. Get rid of one of those, and we've got 6. 4 foot 1 plus 6. So that makes me 4 foot 7. 4 foot 7 inches. Weight. Very personal indeed. Weight isn't even a weight chart here, so we won't worry about that. I'm not sure where the weight chart's gone. Height, weight, hair colour. Okay, well, we won't worry about that too much, and we will move on to goals. I'm not gonna cover this in a great lot of detail, but you basically have short-term goals and then longer-term goals, which kind of fits in around the GM and what you want to do. I gave this a little bit of thought. Find goal to replenish my runes is one of the examples here. So I did give this a little bit of thought. I want to find my lost family. That's what I'm trying to do. They're not like terribly lost, they're just missing. Rather than being like, I've gone for a long time, and then I want to forge a new forge an gold rune. So that's just like a standard one. I've got the goal for it apparently. But then long term, I want to create my own. So create and craft a new gold rune. Now, if I was having a GM, I might want to talk to them about that. They might be able to give me some ideas for some other short-term goals, but you do get XP for them, so they are quite important to think about. But that's what I've gone for. I don't know if any of you are GMing, whether you'd let me have those, whether you think there were other things that I might have. I guess that's something to talk about. The connections you have with the other players, and as I don't know who any of the other players are, I'm not going to cover that at the moment. And then there's a whole load of things about goals and bringing a character to life. Like all these questions like, what was your childhood like? What was your family like? My family's really annoying. Why and when did you leave home? Who's your greatest ally or your best friend? Oh, it's Pete. But anyway, that's something to think about in the background when you're creating your characters. All good stuff for generating kind of well-rounded characters, not just people who are after the treasure all the time. And this is quite curious how they do this. Finishing touches is like working out what all your proper stats are that you're going to use all the time, which isn't really finishing touches. I would almost argue personally that my weight was a finishing touch, or my height. But anyway, so we've got this is the bit I'm going to get wrong. Your melee represents how formidable an opponent you are in hand-to-hand combat, and when you make a melee attack. So to work it out, we calculate your melee. You add your body plus your level of training in the weapon skill. And then you check the ladder over leaf, and there is a little ladder here. So this whatever score we've got in here shows where you are, and then it fits in here. So if you're on 1, you're poor, and you check there. But I've got body for 3, and weapon skill is 4, so it's going to be 4. So look on here, it's 3 to 4, which makes me average, Mr. Average. And then I think accuracy uses your range attack, and you use your mind. So it's 2 plus ballistic skill, and that's average as well, because on the ladder here that is 3, so the 3 and 4 are basically the same, but there's 1 there. And then finally you work out, you work out your defense, which uses your defense. You add your body plus your level of training. So I'm getting myself confused. Yeah, body, you use your body, so that's and your level of training in let's try that again. Sorry. So it's a defense. As you calculate defense, you add your body plus your level of training in the reflexes skill, and I haven't got anything in the reflexes skill, so it's simply my body, which is 3, which is makes me average again. So there you go, that's those. Toughness. Your toughness represents the amount of damage you can take before you start suffering wounds. So that's equal to your body, mind, and soul. Now I think Dewardin get +2 wounds, and we'll come back to that in a minute. So body, mind, and soul is 8. So my toughness is 8, and then I got +1, I think, from being. What was that from? Okay, I've forgotten already what that was from. Because I'm an idiot. Oh, was it guts? It was guts for everyone in the fortitude get +1 toughness. So it's 8 + 9. So my toughness is 9. Okay, excellent. And wounds. Now this starts to get a bit confusing. When your toughness is reduced to 0, you take further damage. You suffer a wound. So wounds represent serious damage. So 9 is effectively your wounds, and wounds are almost like critical wounds, but then you can actually have critical wounds as well, so that's perhaps not the best way to look at it. But toughness, your toughness erodes first, and then you start taking damage on your wounds, and then when you get to 0 wounds, then you're really deep doo-doo. So when your toughness has been reduced to 0 and you take further damage, you suffer a wound. Wounds represent serious injuries that can become life-threatening. Your character can only take a certain number of wounds before being overwhelmed or pushed to the brink of death. I kind of get the impression from this system that happens quite often. For more damage or on wounds damage, 149. So it has a section called the wound track. This shows the maximum wounds you can suffer as well as any current wounds. So your maximum wounds are equal to the body plus mind and soul, which is 8, divided by 2 rounded up, so it's 4. But the Dewardin get +2 wounds. Once you've calculated your maximum wounds, leave that many spaces on the wound track free and shade in the rest. Most starter characters have 4 spaces for wounds. For more information on wounds, see page 151. So this is kind of a little bit confusing. So I basically have 4, and then I shade, so that I would leave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I was shading the rest. But actually, because I'm Dewardin, they get +2. So I can get 2 extra spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I shade in the rest of them. And what happens is here, so I can take wounds here, and once these are all, I'm not quite sure why there's a space there as well, but once I've filled in all of these, then so this goes down to 9, and then I start taking damage as this drops down, and it gets to there. And at that point, I'm mortally wounded, and I can check the mortally wounded box. Which is a bad thing. So that's how that works, and that's a little bit counterintuitive, and it confused me because I'm not that bright. It confused me at first. I just filled in these 6 first. It was only when I read just after this section you have got a whole area on what all bits and pieces are, which is quite useful. It was only when I read that I realised that I'd done it wrong. So where are we now? Initiative we've got left. Initiative. Your initiative determines the order you act in during combat, with the highest initiative acting first. It's equal to training in awareness and reflexes, which I have nothing, and my mind, which is quite weak. So I just have initiative 2. So it's quite low. And my armour, I don't think I wear any armour. But it's not there yet. Natural awareness represents your inherent perception of the world around you. Probably not very bright. So it functions as assumed successes, so it's a bit like a resting perception kind of thing. So it's equal to your mind plus your level of training, the awareness skill, which again is nothing, so it's 2, but it's divided by 2 rounded up, so just good old 1 is my natural awareness. Where's that gone? Natural awareness was here, so 1. Natural awareness is 1, and metal is my drive to succeed and my will to survive. My metal is very low, but hopefully my character's metal is a lot higher. It represents your fighting spirit and your well of reserves. You can tap when things look their worst. A bit like when I'm trying to read. Your metal is equal to your soul divided by 2 rounded up. So my soul is 3 divided by 2 is 1.5 rounded up is 2. So my metal is 2. And if you remember the miracles, they use 1 metal to use, so I can basically use 2, and then otherwise then I have to kind of restore metal. and the metal it's fairly easy to restore. It doesn't take that long, but you can't keep just piling on the miracles. But after a small rest or even a small space in time, your metal goes back up again, so you can potentially use it again. So hopefully that's a good miracle. It just sounds really fun. So that's why I picked it. And then it says I've finished, and that's kind of it. And I'd want to look at my background, and I might want to go and spend some money in the shop. I don't know whether the equipment, I can't probably buy very much for 15. Equipment, there we go. Starting equipment. That's presumably what I've just was on my shelf. So file. So small file like granite is 10 drops, and then sphere is 100. So that kind of makes sense. It's a very decimalic system, unlike when you've got your horrible electrum pieces and all that kind of stuff, or even the pound, shillings and pence, or whatever it is of gold crowns of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. A much more sensible decimal system. So weapons, you see, are quite expensive. So these are melee weapons. I mean, I could afford a club, but I've got a great axe. I don't really need to. Even a dagger is 20. So I'm not going to be able to spend very much on my 15. My 15 drops of, I could go around. So I could buy a bell. I could buy a backpack to put things in. Could buy a candle. Everyone wants a candle. Rope. I always want rope. Rope. Tarp. 18. Can't afford tarp. Rope. 50 foot rope. Rope. 50 foot. Yes, it's always 50 foot. 10. I could go around. It's ration. 5 days worth of rations. So yeah, you can see that's what you can spend. I haven't got much to spend, so I could buy some newer things. What about caltrops? Caltrops there? Oh, caltrops aren't there. Never mind. So let's have a look. Is there anything else I want to say? Portrait, that's never getting filled in. Spells and miracles, hopefully I get lots more of those as the time goes on. So that is it. So as you can see, it's fairly simple. There's not a lot of rolling, and there's not really that much maths to do to work out these bits and pieces. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I probably have, but I mean these things I will need to know how they work. My runes and what have you, because they only when I activate them do they give me the extra bits and pieces that I need. So the extra furies, I think was it. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but it gave me an extra stat or something. But only when they work. They don't work all the time, so they don't need to fiddle with these very much. They might change. We'll boost some of these stats and things. So that's it. So I've gone for quite a general kind of, haven't invested. If I wanted to invest an extra one in weapon skill, I would have gone up to good. Would I regret that? I don't know. I wanted to kind of just do a fairly good standard. I want this guy to be kind of devout follower of Grimnir, but following up on his Ergol rune. That's why I put extra stuff into crafting. But that is Njord Flame Rune. Do let me know what you think. Have I done that right? Do you intend to play this game? What archetype are you going to play? I know lots of you have been playing and rolling out characters and what have you. But I think this game is really fun. Future videos, we're looking at, hopefully, it's very tentative, but getting an online game of this together. So we might do a video of that, or certainly a little update on how it's gone. But I think next I'm going to start looking at the rules, maybe digging into combat, and just looking at how you might actually go about playing a game in the mortal realms. So that is character generation. My first character, Njord Flame Rune, Auric Runemaster. He's done. So yeah, let me know what you think, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I was going to say in the Beast Grave, but hopefully we'll see you soon in the mortal realms and Soulbound. Bye.